Hello there. I'm Andrea Kennedy, and here we are live. Hope you're there as we begin this little celebration online for 50,000 subscribers. I absolutely cannot believe that this channel has 50,000 subscribers because I just didn't know where it was ever going to go. Send me a chat. Let me know you're there. And let's see here. Let me check my settings. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to put it on that. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully we're working. Anyway, let me know you're out there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. So I see Maria from YouTube. So that's awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Everybody's from YouTube. Oh, let's see. Oh, there's a Facebook. Awesome. All right. Because I'm doing a simultaneous broadcast, and it's, I think, the second time I've done that. And if you have seen my videos from when the channel first started, you can tell it has been a journey in learning for me for sure. So I so appreciate you all hanging in with me as I've learned and grown. And, everything's a journey, right? I mean, when I first started, I used my phone to record the videos and just that little microphone. And then I got another little microphone and, you know, little by little, made changes along the way. Wanted to make your experience, um, better and better. And I hope that I've done that. I think that we've made a lot of progress because the numbers really reflect that. And wow, thank you all for chiming in there. Oh, wonderful. Thanks so much for all of your well wishes. But, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you and taking the time, to have an interest in your own health and well being, maybe that of your family and friends, and maybe the world. And this all really started just because um, my husband had an idea for me to make a YouTube channel. I didn't know anything really about YouTube. I didn't watch YouTube. So I started to research a little bit and to see what's out on YouTube about Reiki. And I decided, yeah, I had some stuff I could say. And then fast forward, I did that first um, distance healing video. And I got to tell you, Confessions of a Reiki Master here. I did not know if that video was going to work. It's the one, it has the turquoise uh, or teal title on the oh, can I do that? Let's see. Look at that. I can put that right across the bottom there. How about that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Put your chats right on there. So just different ones on. Whoops, I'm doing that a little too fast. Ah, there we go. I think that's kind of fun to do it like that. Congratulations, Courtney. Yeah, gets your name up on the screen like that. Very cool. All right. So maybe we'll do a little bit more of that later. But yeah, so I figured I had some things that I could say. I didn't. I think I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Let's see. And so I just started out. I thought I had some things to share on YouTube. Um, Most YouTube people, they have a plan of getting enough subscribers so they can monetize with ads. And I have to say, I made the decision later that I wasn't going to do that. I didn't really know how the channel was going to go. And here we are. I'm not part of the ad program. I do the videos just for donation and to help you. And that's really it. I just thought the ads on the channel would be junky and disruptive. And, I certainly don't want to see ads. So I think the donation way to do things is nice because if you're moved to do it from your heart, doesn't that just mean so much more than you clicked on some ad somewhere? And, I'd rather have it this way. And, if you don't want to donate, that's totally cool too. The option's just there. Let's see. I don't know if I can do that. Oh, okay. So in the chat, there's a link if you want to donate, and I'll put it here on the screen too. See, there you go. And that's if you just want to donate. If you don't want to, no worries. I only want donations that when they resonate with you. to do that. That's it, because I think that's a fantastic way to exchange energy. But people from all over the world are tuning in, from all different walks of life, different levels of means. And I just want to be helpful. And I have to say, that was my mission when I started the channel. It's been almost 3 years that I started the channel with videos on it. That YouTube says, like maybe it's 5 years old or something. That was just when I created an account. I think my first video went on June 2019. Yeah, June 2019. So we're coming up on 3 years. And, if you've been around, you might recognize this top. And I wore this. Oh my goodness. I think it was, now I'm going to mess this up. It was last March. So March of 2021, we had 5,000 subscribers. Is that right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me check my notes here. Yeah, so 2 years ago, we had 1,000. How about that? 2 years ago, we had 1,000 subscribers. And then last March 2021, I think we had 1,000. I don't know. I think that's correct. And now 50,000. And I'll go ahead and hide my donation thing. But what I want to say one other thing before I get more into the stats, and that is every now and again, you might see an ad on the channel. And again, I'm not in the ad program, but it's YouTube, and YouTube does what YouTube wants to do. And so if you see an ad, certainly you can let me know in the comments, and hopefully I might see that and I'll look into it. But they can actually put ads anywhere they want to, on any channel they want to. So I apologize if you ever do see an ad. It's not my intention. Okay, so let's talk about some numbers, because I'm a little bit of a nerd. If you know about my background and that kind of thing, you might know I'm a little nerdy about that stuff. So I wanted to share with you, again, the channel started June 2019, so almost 3 years ago. We have had, get a load of this, since then, in almost 3 years, over 2.9 million views. So almost 3 years, almost 3 million views. Now let's break that down. 552 thousand? No, 552 hours have been watched just in the last month. That's over 3 million hours of videos watched in 28 days here on the channel. It's crazy. So anyway, I could do more numbers. I think it's really interesting. In 1 month, 250,000 views, 52,000 hours viewed, and that translates to 3.12 million. So my mind has just been blown, this whole journey to get to this point. And it's all because of you guys. It's all because of you and this global community that we have. And I just couldn't be more humbled. I couldn't be more excited, more pleased. And I just have to say thank you. What an incredible ride this is. And so some of you might be thinking, okay, so what are you doing next? So this is all great, but where are we going to go from here? Well, I am planning on making more videos. I want to do videos a little bit closer together. So that is a goal that I have for you, to release more videos more often. We'll see how that goes. One of the things I'm involved in right now is the Reiki Raise Healing Summit. I'm conducting interviews right around now, so they'll come out in the fall. You can find out more information about the summits at reikiraise.com, but it's pretty time consuming for me to do that. And so, I've been a little behind in my video production. So I am planning on more and more. So just want to scan the chat real quickly here. I love seeing the repeat names and things like that. And I recognize some of your names from a long time ago. And I have to just again say thank you so much for connecting with me here on YouTube. And some of you are even on Facebook, and that's fantastic. What else did I want to tell? Oh, so what about some upcoming video topics? I thought maybe if you tuned in live, I might give you a sneak peek with that. So I've had a lot of people write in and ask for a video about addiction. So, addiction, helping heal addiction, but also um, this other interesting perspective, and that is the family of someone who is addicted. Because often that is so difficult for the people who love someone that's addicted. So I thought that was pretty compelling too. And yeah, I thought that was interesting. So that kind of got my attention. Another one is migraine. I've had people write in for migraine, so that's on my short list, I'm going to say. Another interesting one is past life healing, and I got a really neat idea to do that video. So that's also on my list. I also want to do a series for the major body systems. So maybe the respiratory system, the circulatory system, the gastrointestinal system, immune system. So the major systems of the body. You might recall I did the chakra series and did the different energy centers. I thought maybe the body systems might be an interesting series to do. I haven't done a series in a while. And oh, I see CB says, yes, migraine. Great, great. Oh, and yeah, Andrea. Love your name, Andrea. Maybe you say Andrea. I don't know. I'm an Andrea, but welcome. And past life healing. So I'm getting some votes for that body system. So good. I'm glad that you're liking some of these ideas. Another one that I think we'll do is relationships. I think that would be a different one that we could do. There's so many different ideas out there. So feel free to put them in the comments as well. I have a very long list, but I've given you a few, that I think are coming up pretty quickly. Another one that I find really fascinating and I would want to do for a few different reasons would be on spirit attachments. So some people get, afraid and that kind of thing about spirit attachments. But I have to tell you, it's just energy. We're in a sea of energy all the time. And I haven't done this video yet because I wanted to be careful how I did it. And I wasn't quite sure how we do it. So I've been working it out in my mind for quite some time. And what I will say is, I'm going to switch gears and talk to you about the podcast. So, if you're not aware, I co host a podcast called Beyond the Reiki Gateway, and I co host that with Kathleen Johnson. She is a lovely lady, Reiki master and practitioner, and we've actually never met before in real life. We have a plan to meet soon, but I just love her. We met virtually a few years ago, and I just thought I want to do something with her. And anyway, so this podcast has grown out of that. I think we've published 38 or so episodes right now, and it's a podcast for the spiritually curious. And so we've had different guests and things like that. Uh, since we're doing sneak peeks, so the episode that just came out was with Jody Helm, and she channels messages from the archangels. And so we had her as a guest, and she shared what the angels really want us to know right now, which I thought was a fantastic, fantastic show that she offered us. The next one that comes out is on power animals. And I found that one to be pretty fascinating too. I know a lot of you are into spirit guides and things like that. And the power animals are spirit animals that help guide us. That is just another whole realm of help, of guidance, of support that we can tap into and build connection with. And so let's see, that's the next one. And then after that one, we've got William Stillman back. He's a psychic medium, And on my little list that I have on the side of the screen, you can see I have invitations. So I want to invite you to come to a Zoom event. It's July 16th, and Kathleen Johnson from the podcast and I have the privilege of hosting William, and he's going to do a live psychic gallery on Zoom. And the time is 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, because we wanted more time zones to be able to attend. And we did this once before, and it was an evening where I am. So a lot of you couldn't really attend. And it was really interesting. You never know where he's going to go, who he's going to be drawn to. If you're familiar with John Edward or something like that. I think that Long Island Medium did things like this too, but I'm not really sure. To me, he reminds me of John Edward, where he is drawn to different people in the audience, and then loved ones come through, and intuitive guidance and messages. Anyway, so if you're interested in attending that event, that is live on Zoom, and you can go to beyondthereikigateway.com, and there's a page called upcoming events, and tickets are $35, and we hope to see you there. Okay, so that's one invitation. I guess the second invitation was to tune into the podcast. If you aren't aware of it, I'm surprised how many people don't know about it. So I wanted to go ahead and let you know about that. So let's see, topic previews. We talk, oh, yeah, and the spirit attachment thing, right? So that video that I want to do, I think one of the reasons I didn't make it yet was I think I was waiting to meet Gail Revels, and she did a whole episode on spirit attachments and curses. I don't know if you guys listened to that, but man, that was really incredible. Kathleen and I were so, I guess, moved and are inspired and curious after talking to her for that hour. We both booked sessions with her. And so we also did an episode about what Gail found for myself and for Gail, and for Kathleen, sorry. And it was really something. So yeah. So tune into those if you want to. But I think I needed to meet Gail and learn from her a little bit, because we're always still learning, right? I wanted to learn from her, and now I think I'm ready to really get serious about making that spirit attachment release video for you all here on YouTube. And I think, well, my hope is it'll be really, really helpful to you. Again, that is my mission here, to just be helpful, um, to be a spot out there of help, of support. And my shirt has all these hearts because I appreciate you, uh, and I love you. I know that sounds really corny maybe, but the last video I did, Receive Love Now, I have to tell you, that's a video that I didn't plan on making. And I just woke up in the morning very, very early in that morning, and I just wanted to send you love. I wanted to tell you, I wanted to convey to you and offer Reiki, love, compassion. And I wanted you to know you matter, that you are light, that even though you might live all the way around the world from me, distance is no barrier. We may have never met before. That does not matter to me. What you've done in the past does not matter to me. You are a being of light. And I know this with my entire being. And we're on a journey together to remember that about ourselves. And as we do that, then we remember it more for each other. And it's from that place that we begin to create a world more in resonance with the vibration of love. And that's how we change the world. And that's kind of how I see things at the moment. Everything's a journey. And wow. All right. Let me check my list over here and see what we've got. So I talked to you about some new video topics, a video preview kind of thing, podcast stuff. Gail, oh yeah, those episodes are phenomenal. You know, Gail even offers a little bit of a discount if you are interested in a session with her. And I'll put the code here in the well, I don't know. Go. Oh, you know what I'll do? Let me put the website. Uh, Beyond the Reiki Gateway. It's a long name, I know, but we just had to use that name because it's so fitting for what it is. Oh, and then I'll just show it right there because I've learned how to do this now, right? Beyond the ReikiGateway.com. So if you go there, you can find information about, yeah, you can even listen to all the past episodes. You don't even need a podcast app. We try to do one stop kind of everything podcast at the website. So you can even learn about Kathleen there. The event with William Stillman, the information and registration is there, the all the past episodes, and then we have a partner page. It lists all the guests for you that we've had so far on the podcast, and some of them have little discounts just for you, you know, for you listeners out there who want to take advantage of that. So Nicholas Pearson has something for his flower. Oh, I'm going to get the name essences. That's it. His flower essences. He has a little discount that you can get off of those. Jaffa Kaufman. If you're into numerology, want a numerology reading, Jaffa has a special offer, and so does Gail. And ooh, I don't know. I don't want to miss anybody, but check out that page for special things just for you. What else do I want to tell you? Let me see. Oh, okay. I think we're almost to our Reiki time. I promised 10 minutes of just live Reiki for you, and I want to go ahead and offer that. Um, lastly, what do I want to say? Lastly, I want to say, connect with me here, connect with me on Facebook. I say here, even though I'm streaming both on both platforms at the same time. So Facebook, YouTube. I do offer classes for Reiki training. They're live and online over Zoom, and you can find out more at my website, which is up at the top. Um, and I'm so blessed to have students from all over the world. And if you're drawn, I'd love to have you. Anyway, that's about everything I've got for you, except some Reiki. And then I'm not really going to say much during the 10 minutes. I'm just going to offer the Reiki. And then lastly, let's see, anything else? Looking over my list here. Nope, Reiki. And then if you want to hang out with me, I'm going to take my little list down here that's on my screen. See? Anyway, so I'm going to offer some Reiki to you for your highest good, of course. And I'll go ahead and let's see, hide that little website thing. And then after that, I'll hang out. And if you guys want to ask some questions or anything like that, I'm down for that. And we can do that together. Just kind of hang out a little bit. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you now. I got to take a breath. Wow, that was a lot of talking. And again, thank you so much for your presence, for your supporting the building of this YouTube channel so we can reach more people with Reiki. And that's my mission. So I thank you so much. And I very much send wishes of peace and blessings to you. No matter who you are, where you are, it makes no difference to me. My heart goes out to you. So let's go ahead and get comfortable. You may be seated or lying down. And let us come together as I offer you Reiki for about the next 10 minutes. And I now offer you the highest frequencies of Reiki energy for your highest good, whatever that may be. And if you would like to state an intention, then go ahead and do that. But the very nature of Reiki will always help you in whatever way resonates with your highest good, because we never know. We may have an intention, but there could be something else that we could really use the help for, maybe a little bit more. Reiki energy comes to you from the source of all that is, from that highest place. And you are worthy to connect to that source, all on your own. And I invite you to intend to maintain your connection with the Reiki energy, with the source of all of creation, for as long as it is in your highest good. And I wish for you the deepest healing and the highest of blessings today and all days. And I thank you for joining me in the Reiki space for that length of time. And again, it's just a joy to meet with you like this. And just so thankful. So thankful that we are able to connect with technology like this. It's just amazing. Yeah. You're so welcome. So welcome. Absolutely. Yeah. It's just a joy to be here with you. Such a joy. And yes, please intend to maintain and connect directly to that energy. The other thing I wanted to invite you to consider, I'm thinking about this a lot lately, and I want to share it with you. And that is what we see and who we think we are and each other are. It's only a glimpse, it's only a fraction of who we truly are. And there is a part of you, a part of me, part of everyone that is, I will say, not consciously in our awareness very much. And we call it the higher self. And that higher self can be a very, what do I want to say? Limitless. I guess I'm saying limitless guide for us, because our higher self is that part of ourself that is much more aware of the truth of who we are, where we come from, how this all works. But here in our little human selves, we forget a lot of that. And so I would invite you to consider that your higher self has a vantage point, has a perspective, and has the ability to connect with exactly what it is you need at any time. It has wisdom for you, it has guidance for you, it has, again, limitlessness. We're just limited here in our little physical bodies on earth, right? So, what's the invitation? The invitation is for you to consider and intend and perhaps meditate on, work with the idea to strengthen your connection to your higher self. You know, many of us we talk about guides and working with angels and guides and things like that. I think we often overlook the higher self and the absolute resonance that we have with our higher self because it is part of us. And it's that part of us in awareness, full awareness. And um, so while we can work with other guides and things like that, let us not forget about our higher self and everything that we might gain on our path forward by strengthening that connection. And because it is a part of us, there's really no resistance to that. There's no other identity that we need to perhaps reconcile with that. Anyway, just some just some things I've been thinking about lately. I wanted to share that with you. Okay, so I want to move on to the question and answer. Anybody have any questions for me? I'll hang out for a while if that's okay. Maybe another 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so. Any questions at all? Um, I'll start because I don't see any questions yet. Um, so I will here's a question. Ooh, Anton. Ooh. So this is cool because I'm putting his question Anton's question right up here. He put a Q there, which helps me find it in the chat because I'm looking at a lot of stuff over there. So I appreciate that. I make a lot of involuntary movements and sounds when I get healing. Is that a sign that I have many energy blockages, or what is that about? Um, okay, so first of all, I would say that the movement, sounds, things like that are definitely an indication of moving energy, shifting energy. Uh, and I'm going to say in and around you because we have the whole biofield. And, all it is that our energy moves a lot slower here. So we appear to be solid, but, we've got this whole biofield around us. Um, Now, the thing I want to say about this also is, does it mean you have a whole lot of energy blockages? Blockages is just such a charged word because when we think of blockages, we think negative, like, ooh, I have an issue or I have something I need to heal or whatever. And I'm going to invite everyone to consider that, not everything's a blockage as we might think. And maybe you're not there. Maybe you get that and the whole thing. What I would invite you to consider instead is that the movements, the sounds, things like that, it's energy shifting and moving and settling for you. Um, and that is providing a contrast in the energy state before the healing. Is that a blockage? Perhaps, totally perhaps. But here, let me share a little something about myself. And so um, wow, that's interesting. Oh, look at that. Somebody donated on Ko-fi. I'm so new to this that I don't even know how that works. And the Ko-fi bot put the link. That's so cool. Anyway, okay. So back to your question, Anton. So when I receive Reiki, do you know what I do? My finger does that. It just does that repeatedly, almost like a little metronome, it just kind of does that over and over and over. And it's so weird because I don't mean to do it, it just does it. But that when it does that, that is not because I have an energy blockage. I just don't know. There's nothing associated with that. It's just the same thing and it does that years. This has gone on for years. This to me is sort of my indication like, oh, look at that. I'm receiving the Reiki. There it is, right? So I look at it like that. I would invite everyone to perhaps don't judge the movements and sounds too much because then that kind of gets us stuck in that. Just go with the flow, let the sounds out. Some people cry and do things like that, and they don't even know what's behind the tears. Just let it go and be in gratitude for the healing, the help, the support, and the uh, changes, the positive changes that you're receiving. But yeah, so some are blockages. I think some are just indicating that energy's flowing. Okay, I hope that that's helpful. Let me find your thing and I'll hide that. And let me go back down here. Ooh, let's see. I'm going to miss questions, I'll bet you. Oh my gosh, this is tough. Okay. So, okay, there's Anton's. So the next question in my list, uh, Neha Shetty. Can we, let's see. I'm going to show that one. Can we combine or chant Ho'oponopono while giving Reiki to self and others? Yeah, I don't see why not. But here's anytime I do anything, uh, if I add anything though to Reiki and I'm offering Reiki to somebody else, I'm very aware of that because if a client, now I'm not seeing individual Reiki clients right now, but in my practice, when I was, it was very important to me to, when I offered them Reiki, I offered Reiki because if I added other things there, to me, that meant there was more going on. And I want to be transparent with people if I'm doing anything in addition to the Reiki, just because the client, the recipient is there for Reiki and I don't want to slide in anything else under their radar. So I like to be transparent. The other reason for that is I also want to make sure that when I work with people with Reiki, they're understanding what Reiki is and what Reiki isn't. So, yeah. So that's what I have to say about that. I hope that that's helpful. But for yourself, oh, I mean, totally. Ho'oponopono is it can be very powerful. If you're not familiar with what that is, everybody you can Google that if you want. But it's simple. It's wonderful. So if you are moved to do that, then I would certainly invite you to do that. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So now let's go. Let's see. Sorrel. Let's see. Oh, do you ever get emotional? That's is the next question. Do you ever get emotional when you do healing for others? Absolutely. Yeah, I've had that. And there have been times, even on videos, if you look closely, sometimes my eyes tear up a little bit. Um, but you know what? You know what? It's funny because I don't normally think about this, but your question has me thinking about it. It is never sadness. It is never anything like that. It's never worry. It's never anything like that. If I get emotional, the only reason I'm getting emotional is I feel love. I feel love for them and gratitude for the opportunity to be there with them in that Reiki space. You know, it's a really big deal to me to offer Reiki to someone else. We are asking them to completely open up and be vulnerable to us. And to me, that's an honor and a privilege. And so it's that that makes me emotional sometimes when I offer healing to other people. Yeah. Thank you for your question. Let's see. Ooh, I'm moving down the line here. This is fun. All right. Um, let's see. Here's the next question. When we do from DC, when we do Reiki throughout, okay, when we do Reiki throughout the Reiki, do I need to keep asking Reiki energy and guides to come again? Uh, so per session, or can I just invite them once and I can keep connecting all day? Oh, very interesting. Okay. So, number one, if you want to work that way, what I would say is to me, again, all I can offer is my experience, you know, no rights or wrongs, but this is just my take on it, of course. Um, you need to, well, ooh, I never talk like that. You don't need to do anything. Excuse me. That's weird. So, from my perspective, I would always start a session with a client, and I always use the word client, even if it's a family member or whatever. But anytime you have a different client, a different recipient of the energy, I start everything fresh for them. So, nothing's left over. Uh, so I don't do it at the beginning of the day and then five different people later. You know, I don't do that. I figure every person who comes to me is deserves my full and complete attention, my full and complete I was going to say effort, but Reiki isn't really about efforting, but I think you know what I mean. So every person gets my full attention, uh, my full intention. And then after each person, it's like clean slate. And I move on so I can be fully present for the next person. Now, within the session for the person, I bring everything, I start everything. What does that mean? I start the energy flowing. Um, I invite all the spiritual energies that have the highest good of that person as their highest priority. And I do that for them at the beginning. And then I just kind of go with the energy throughout. I don't tune back in and ask the Reiki to come in the middle of a session because it's there already, is what I would say to that. So Reiki to me is limitless and it's source energy. So it doesn't need me to re-ask it to come in. I hope that answered your question. Okay, fantastic. Okay, this is really fun. Okay, so here's the next question. I'm not even reading these before, so I don't know. Question. Karma in life, and some people connect easy, some not. I'm not sure I understand the question. Karma, some people can connect some. I don't know what the question is, Christina. I'm sorry. Um, I don't know. I'm not clear on your question. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to move on. Friend of, let's see this one here. I offered a friend of mine Reiki. He has cancer. I started sending him Reiki. I felt pulled, and shortly after that, I had the feeling of being hold in place. And then it trails off. Okay, I don't know. Reiki can never cause harm, and that's for the client and for you. I don't know if you're saying that you felt a little um, concerned by that. Uh, I'm not sure about that. Okay, I'm going to move on. I apologize that sometimes I'm not understanding your questions. How much information you receive during a healing do you pass on to the recipient? So I think I made some videos about this. And what I would say, it varies by practitioner. I receive a lot now, but in the beginning, I didn't really receive any. So, and then it just changed gradually over time. And then I was very afraid to lead someone astray or to say the wrong thing or to do anything that might cause them worry, concern, doubt, anything like that. So I had to really overcome that. Um, I think most of us have that fear that we don't want to mislead anyone. So it took me a long time for that. Um, I pass it on to the recipient if it resonates with me that it is in their highest good that I do so. If I have any doubt about that, I just don't. The other thing is how we deliver that information is hugely, hugely important because that person has entrusted themselves to us for this Reiki healing energy. And so our words to them and how we speak with them is just very impactful, I will say. And so we need to be extremely careful with how we communicate to those clients. Again, why? I would never want a client to be finished with a session and then they're wondering, if they're questioning their energy or if something's wrong with them or whatever it is. um, it's kind of hard, to describe it at the moment, but I think I've conveyed that answer to you. I hope so. I hope so. Let's see. I'm gonna do the next. Can we heal ourselves by putting our hands on the sore spots? Everybody, I'm wondering if you're a Reiki practitioner. Um, so yes. Now here's the thing. every person has chakras in their palms. Every person can move energy because we all have energy. We all have life force energy. Now, the difference with Reiki is the energy is coming from that place, that I call it creationary energy because it's the energy of creation. And energy of creation comes through the Reiki practitioner and flows from their palms. Now, it only doesn't just flow from the palms, it can exude from the whole practitioner. Their gaze can also deliver Reiki. That's one reason I keep my eyes open most of the time in a video that I do. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off track there. So, but any person, even if they are not attuned to that Reiki energy, can place their hands on themselves. And what I would do, if you're in this if you're trying this and you're not attuned to Reiki, is ask that the source of life force energy, or, if you're religious or, whatever, because Reiki doesn't have anything to do with religion, but sometimes people might have a love, a relationship for different spiritual figures, uh, religious or not, or angels or whatever it is. And so, whatever resonates for you, or maybe it's just God or source or the universe, whatever that is, or source of Reiki, invite that energy to come to you. You can visualize it coming into the crown of your head, coming down and flowing into the source spot, but also down your arms and out your hands into that area. Okay. The difference here is if you're not attuned to Reiki, if you haven't had Reiki training, just don't call yourself a Reiki practitioner. You might say you're doing energy healing. Okay. And I won't get off into the weeds all about that, but the system of Reiki, in order to call yourself a Reiki practitioner, in the system of Reiki, there are certain things that need to happen, and one of them is that attunement process from a master teacher. So everybody's an energy healer, not everybody's a Reiki healer. And I don't even like to use the word healer. I don't use that in reference to myself. I'm a Reiki practitioner and teacher. I hope that is helpful. Okay. Um, let's see as I go down the list. Oh, I felt chills right now while receiving Reiki. Oh, yeah, I get chills all the time. It's very, very normal. Let's see, Mari, what's the difference? Let's see what she has to say. What's the difference between Usui and Holy Fire? I'm level 2 Usui and I had no idea there were other forms of Reiki. Oh, there's so many other forms of Reiki out there. So Usui Sensei is the originator of Usui Reiki Ryoho, and Holy Fire is a different vibration of energy, but that's the style that I teach and practice. And so it's what it does is it merges with and complements the Usui frequencies of energy, and this Holy Fire. It is really incredible, is all I have to say. Different styles of Reiki, different symbols that are taught in different styles. When you become more in tune with the sensations of energy itself, you can actually feel the differences in the energy. And it just really is a function of how sensitive the practitioner is. But that's my short answer there. There are many styles of Reiki. There's oceanic Reiki, angelic Reiki. I look at it like flavors of ice cream. I love ice cream. I love all flavors of ice cream. I think maybe not black licorice if they have that. It's not my thing, but ice cream's great. Um, I have my favorites though. I have ones that resonate to me and call my name, and I want those. Like bubblegum ice cream, that's great. Anybody can have bubblegum ice cream that they want. No judgment for me, but I'm not going to be eating bubble gum ice cream. So just my guidance here is trust you and read about the different styles, and then see where your heart pulls you as far as what you might want to learn as you move forward. I hope that's helpful. Um, oh, Max asks, is it dangerous to get a Reiki tattoo on my body? Choku symbol. Follow your guidance. Reiki is not going to harm you. There is judgment in the Reiki community whether or not to display the symbols, but that's a personal judgment. Just be prepared for that if you put it in a visible place. Some people may come from a place of judgment, whether or not that's appropriate. But my advice is you follow your guidance on that. And if it feels very good to you, then, do that. There's no danger associated with Reiki at all. Reiki does no harm. Yeah. Interesting. Let's see. I have another cue here. Let's see. This is a little bit of a long one. Jay writes, I notice when practitioners do online distance Reiki, they hold up their palms. Are there other effective ways to offer distance Reiki? Do you need to see the practitioner? Oh, no, you don't need to see the practitioner at all. Sometimes, so I do that. I hold my hands up because I'm on YouTube and it's a visual thing. And I also open my eyes. I just mentioned this a minute ago, and I look into the camera. I look forward, and that's because I send Reiki with my eyes. I send Reiki with my palms. But I got to tell you, I'm sending Reiki with my heart. No limits over here when I do that. For a practitioner, if we're not on YouTube, then what I would say is you don't really need to hold your hands up at all. Some practitioners use a surrogate like a doll or a teddy bear. I use a crystal when I do distance Reiki. I'm looking for my crystal where it is. Oh, here it is. So when I offer distance Reiki to a person, I actually just use a crystal. This is a Lemurian quartz crystal, and it doesn't look like a body, does it? Not at all. But I put it down, and when I look at this, I can see my person that I'm working with. It's just in my mind. I know where it is, and I do the session that way. So if I'm doing a one-on-one session with someone over distance, it looks kind of like this with my hands as I go down the body. So, no, I hope that answered that question. Okay. Any quick tips for connecting with our higher selves? I don't know. I think this is going to be a new area of exploration for me, Dolores, really, quite frankly. I think that there's really something to this. What I would say is visualization, I think, is extremely powerful. So is our intention. In my meditations, a lot of times I'll say something like, let me see if I can get it. See, feel, imagine, and intend. I think, let's see, feel, imagine, the four things. And I guess I just stumbled upon that some time ago, but see, feel, imagine, and intend. And when you do that, all of that energy and attention that you're investing in those four things, that is powerful. And our thoughts direct energy, our thoughts are energy. And so that's what I would do. I would sit quietly. Uh, what does that mean? I would sit quietly. So take some deep breaths, intend to be present in the moment. And then what you might do is you're already connected to your higher self. But what I want to say is you might visualize if you tune into yourself, maybe it looks like a thread of light coming from your crown or something. But would be for you to sort of tune into yourself and ask, where's my connection to my higher self? What does that look like? And then notice what you notice. And I'm a big proponent of writing things down. So write down what you notice about yourself. This is something I invite you to explore on your own. And what I mean by that is there's really no need for you to go look for a book or whatever and say, what does the connection look like and all of that. Trust yourself. This is a great exercise in trusting yourself. Tune in, and at the beginning, you might not get much. Keep a journal and write down your observations. And then what I would imagine is that you will reach a point where you can tell or visualize a connection with your higher self. And then what I would do is I would intend to strengthen the connection, and I would visualize that connection getting stronger, thicker, wider, perhaps, so that more data can be transferred between you and the higher self. So, yeah. And so I'm really getting into this myself. I think that this is a real area of um, exploration and development right now. So you might think of it like a Wi-Fi connection between you and your higher self. And what we're going for here is a hardwire connection. Okay, if that makes any sense. But I think that's a pretty good analogy for what I'm trying to do. But if you meditate, if you're interested in growing on your journey, keep a journal and record when you sit, what you observe, and things like that, even if you don't think it's that big of a deal. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else here. Oh, Barbara says, let's see what Barbara says. When I do the Reiki with you, I feel extra pairs of hands on me. Is this common? Yes, this is really common, even in person. So in my Reiki office, when I saw my clients there, they would even say to me, "I know that you had your hands on my head, but I felt hands at my feet. I felt hands on my knees. How is that possible?" So it's very, very common. And what we typically, I just kind of think of it as Reiki helpers, your guides perhaps coming in to assist and offer you everything that can possibly be offered to you during that session for your highest good. So, yeah, it's really common. Let's see. Can the Reiki be utilized? Ooh, oh, it's already after 3 o'clock. Well, where I am anyway. Okay, so I'll stay on a few more minutes. Can the Reiki be utilized to physically protect yourself and others from possible danger? Um, I mean, I think um, you can always have an intention with Reiki. You're never going to do harm, but will it have that? Will it translate to actually doing that? I don't know. And, Reiki is mysterious. So I can't sit here and say, if you do that, you'll be protected from danger. However, if you use Reiki and you're under stress about some danger or being hurt or something like that, it's more than likely going to help you uh, with your level of stress, with your level of anxiousness, with your level of heightened fight or flight. That's where I think the help's going to come in. But again, you can always try it. When in doubt, try it and see what happens. Again, Reiki can't cause any harm. And, it's free. You might as well tune in and try it and get back to me. Let me know what you think. All right, let's see. Um, oh, you're welcome for answering your question, Sorel. I hope I did a good job. Yeah. Prasad says, can you receive and send it to needy? Oh, absolutely. Now, I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here and say, um, I'm thinking that you mean like a group of people in need, and maybe you don't know them all or whatever. And so, uh, yeah, I made a video about that too, so you might look for that on the channel. Something about offering Reiki to groups or something? I don't know. Don't quote me. But anyway, I know I made a video and talked a little bit about this. It was some time ago though. Yeah, and so anytime that you might want to send healing energy, offer healing energy to a group, and maybe you don't even know all of them. Maybe it's uh, I'm just going to make up an example. So maybe you have a homeless shelter in your area and you want to help those people that are spending the night that evening in the homeless shelter. I'm again just kind of making this up, but in a situation like that, what you do is uh, intend and offer the Reiki to all of those that are present in the shelter for that evening for their highest good. You're offering Reiki to all of those there that are open to receive, and just state that intention, and then let go of any other motivation, anything at all like that. We always respect the free will of whoever we might be offering or sending the Reiki to, and if they don't want to receive it, the Reiki won't. Reiki, by definition, always follows free will, or respects free will. And so Reiki will never engage with a person if they don't want it. So, but I think it's good as a practitioner to remember that we're offering to those who are open to receive. I hope that's helpful. Let's see. This is a long question. I don't know what this is. Niha, did I already answer a question for you? Oh, maybe I didn't understand yours. Well, okay, sorry. While psychic healing to anybody or Reiki healing to anybody, what should be the state of practitioner's mind? Oh, that's a good question. So it should be confident that healing is taking place, or should the mind be effortless? I try to get out of the way. Yeah, I try to get out of the way. I try to be neutral, and I just try to focus on the client. I'm present with them, and my intention is to simply bring through whatever is in their highest good. And so if my mind wanders, which it will, we're just human, that's normal. So when I find that my mind has wandered and I might be thinking about what are we going to have for dinner tonight or something, rather boring. And I realize that I have those thoughts, then I go, oh, and if you were my client, I'd say Reiki for Niha, Reiki for Niha, Reiki for Niha. And it gets me refocused in the present moment, working with that person. And that's really all I do. And then I'm just back to observing, feeling the energy, and following the guidance so that I can offer the highest possible uh, session for them. So I hope that's helpful. Dawn asks, how did you get into Reiki? Oh my goodness. By total accident. A lot of people come to Reiki because they have an ailment or difficulty in life and they're looking for ways to help themselves. That was not me. I was a science person. I had just graduated with a physics degree, so I was very analytical. My mantra back then was, I think, therefore I am. It was back in 1995, and a family member came to our home to visit from another state, and she was talking all about this thing called Reiki. I'd never heard of it, but she had these amazing stories of how it had helped her and other people. And I was so curious. I've always wanted to answer the big questions in life. And I was curious. And so she said, well, I can teach you level one before I go home. And I thought, what do I have to lose? Okay. So that's how I first got into Reiki. So it's a little unexpected. It really just found me through my great aunt who was visiting. So thanks for the question. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Uh, I'm gonna just do probably I don't know, one more, couple more questions. How about that? We'll do a couple more questions. I also believe Reiki can do no harm, but I read that you shouldn't do Reiki over an area with cancer. Oh yeah, so because it'll make it grow. No, this is an old myth, an old myth, and it is incorrect. Reiki does no harm ever. So if you want to offer Reiki to a person and they have cancer, it's going to help the person. It can't harm them. And making a tumor grow would be harmful. It just doesn't do that at all, ever. There are hospitals that use Reiki for their cancer patients. So I don't think I need to say more than that. Yeah, totally. Reiki cannot cause harm. Um, Then the next question is about barefoot. Let's see. Giving and receiving Reiki should be barefoot or any carpet should be placed under our feet. Does the receiving Reiki get compromised by? Yeah, this is source energy. So my belief and my philosophy is if I wear shoes or if I'm barefoot or whatever, it's source energy. So it's unlimited. I've never had the experience that anything I did limited that. And maybe part of the reason that it has worked out that way for me but is because I have that belief. I'm not worried about it. Now, I have known practitioners who felt a lot more of the energy without shoes on, and they always would practice with socks or bare feet. That's great. If that's how they prefer to do it, great. But I've never found that to be true in my practice, and so I'm not gonna teach my students, to do anything a certain way either. My advice is always try it both ways and let your feedback from the person that you are offering Reiki to, let that, uh, be your guide. But I just don't believe in rules about Reiki. I just really, really don't. Okay. Anish, let's see. Anise. I don't know. I hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly. Do you use symbols before posting YouTube videos? No, I don't. I really don't. Uh, let's see. Next one. They say spirit guides connect to you more after second attunement or you hear them, but I don't. I haven't worked with spirit guides before. Am I doing something wrong? Spirit guides, I look at that sort of like chakras. When in the early days of Reiki, the chakra system wasn't even a part of the teaching, at least to my understanding. That's something that was sort of added in later. I could talk a lot about that, but I'm not going to do that here. But let's see. The other part of your question was, spirit guides, right? And so spirit guides to me are a little bit like the chakra system because as I mentioned a minute ago, I have a degree in physics. And so, energy is sort of my language, but not the energy of Reiki, right? It's energy in general. Um, and of course, Reiki is a part of that. But here's the thing spirit guides may be a part of the practice, they don't have to be. Because what if somebody doesn't really even believe in spirit guides or want to work with spirit guides? They don't have to. So, just like the chakra system, children can learn Reiki and help people and themselves with Reiki. They have no idea about the chakras. They have no idea about what organs are where in the body. So, you see, Reiki is super simple. And so, you don't need to have an understanding or a relationship with spirit guides or chakras or anything else. Now, if you want to work with your spirit guides, if that does resonate with you, then what I would say is one of the things that can help you open up more to them is repeat your attunements. Um, Usui Sensei would repeat Reiju or the attunement process with his students. Each time you have that attunement, it helps to clear you, heal you, and release fear and all kinds of things. It's a healing. It has a healing effect, and it helps us bring through uh, finer vibrations of Reiki, more vibrations, and more volume of energy. Um, so, what was I going to say about that? So, repeat your attunements and do Reiki on yourself and receive Reiki on yourself. Also, you can find meditations out there. I have one on my website, an audio meditation, Meet with Your Spirit Guide. There are lots of different tools out there that you might do, but I'm going to tell you, you're not doing anything wrong. The other thing I want you to consider is, everyone's path is different. And so it just might not be optimum as far as time for that to be, for you to work in that way yet. I'm gonna invite you to trust in your process and not be in a rush about it. Invite your awareness of the spirit guides that is at an appropriate and healthy pace for you, and trust that the way is unfolding is perfect for you. Okay? I hope that's helpful. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna go to 3:30. Okay, so hopefully I'll get to the questions. Okay, uh, let's see. Reiki cannot have low energy. Let's see. I felt I cannot difficult to connect. Um, Reiki is Reiki. It's our own perception of it that might be diminished, but Reiki is Reiki. When I first learned Reiki, I felt nothing. But it was still there because I could practice with others and they felt it. I just couldn't feel it at all. And so I would always trust the Reiki. Reiki is Reiki. It's only our relation to it, our perspective of it, that shifts and changes. And again, I would invite you, don't judge so much about, if you're doing anything wrong or whatever. Just keep going and keep practicing. Important points on self healing. Keep at it. Just keep going. I do want to say this. When we do self Reiki, it's very common that we don't feel as much. You might not really feel a whole lot when you do self Reiki. Trust it. My theory on that is we're the channeler and the recipient, and so by the time in our awareness that we can tune in and actually um, uh, feel the energy, it's already so acclimated to our personal frequency, our personal energy, that it's sort of like adding hot water to pretty warm water. I mean, the contrast isn't really there. Typically, we feel much more of the energy when we're offering it to someone else. And that's because their energy is completely foreign to our energy and to the Reiki. And anyway, I hope that made sense. But as far as self healing goes, trust it and be consistent. Also, trade sessions with other people so that you can receive from other people as well. Um, that trading with other practitioners is a really good way to get practice as a practitioner, but also receive additional healing. Let's see here. Next question. Can we be attuned to Reiki online or does it have to happen in person? So there are different lineages, different styles, and the way that they are taught will tell you different things. And so, what I would say is just know that there are different beliefs in the Reiki community about what's appropriate and what isn't. And I teach online and live. I don't teach online recorded. I like to interact with my students. I like to be there to answer their questions in real time. And there's something so special about interacting with them online. So currently, I don't do any recorded Reiki training for that reason. Am I against recorded Reiki training? No, it's just not the way that feels good for me at the moment. Who knows? That could change one day. But what I will say is there are lineages, there are styles of Reiki out there and associations and everything out there that say you cannot do it over distance. And they're pretty adamant about it. And what I would say is if you're looking at studying Reiki, learning Reiki, again, what I would say is follow your guidance. What seems to resonate with you? Because that's the most important thing is choosing a path of Reiki education that feels good to you. There's no other way to do it. I have seen. All I can say is in my classes that are live and online, it works every single time. The other thing I'm going to say is that two things. Number one, that we offer Reiki over distance. and it works. So if we can offer Reiki over distance and it works, why can we not train and attune people over distance? It's energy. It's Reiki. So why would there be a line? I'm not really sure about that. Um, that would be my question. The other thing I was going to say is Mrs. Takata, who is a very important figure in Reiki, especially out in the west of the world. Out here, she brought Reiki in through Hawaii from Japan. She had times that she performed distant attunements. And Justin Stein is a researcher. You might look him up online, Justin Stein. And there are letters and references from Mrs. Takata that she performed distance attunements when being physically present was not possible. So I would put that out for your consideration as well. But again, I'm not saying one way is right or wrong. I just resonate with how I'm doing it. My students very much like it. I very much like it, and I get to meet people from all over the world. And the final thing I'm going to say on that is, with the pandemic, don't we need Reiki? The pandemic brought us a circumstance where we needed Reiki. I don't know if we've ever had a time on the planet where we needed Reiki more than during the pandemic. And so, what an honor, what a joy, what a privilege, something to be so thankful for is that we could come together in the Reiki space, support each other, teach and learn and practice together during that time. So I don't know. That's where I stand on it. But as I said, there are many, many different viewpoints on it. Follow your guidance as to what feels right for you. Let's see. Next question. KM. As a fairly new Reiki master, I'm concerned that I don't receive any information from my client. Is that normal? Thanks, Andrea. Okay. Ooh, boy, I love the questions. Yeah. So a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to invite you to consider your client really doesn't owe you any feedback at all. So I think it's helpful when we realize and decide that that's true. The client really doesn't owe us anything. Now, we all want feedback though, right? We all desire feedback. We would love to know from their perspective, what is happening. Um, so my advice is, after the session is ending and you invite, and again, I don't know how you practice, but for me, the client would be on the Reiki table. And then I would say, oh, you may bring your awareness back to your body and your eyes, open your eyes when you're ready to come back. And I just take a step back and wait for them to open their eyes. Before helping them off the table, I would say to them, did you have any areas of the body or any sensations that got your attention? It's a perfect opportunity because they haven't gotten up from the table yet, right? And so they're still in that dreamy space of the Reiki, and they're better able to recall. So uh, that is my tip for getting started, perhaps in gently inviting the feedback. Okay, so you might do that. They may say no, and we have to be okay with that, because again, they don't owe us the feedback. This is why, to me as a Reiki teacher, it's very important for me to offer Reiki shares for my students. I don't do public shares anymore, but my students, we do a monthly Reiki share online. I offer that. I have a Facebook group only for my students. I want to support my students because I know that when we become practitioners, often we're just in the treatment room with our clients and nobody else is around. So if our client isn't giving us feedback, we're kind of stuck, right? when we get together with like-minded people, and share Reiki and give each other feedback. They may not be clients, but they're other practitioners. So that's a phenomenal place to receive feedback, right? And it can really help boost your confidence in your practice. Plus, you can, I encourage my students, we ask each other questions, we do distance Reiki swaps in the group, and pair up and do things like that. So that's my advice. Try that after your session. Is there any, what did I say? um, did you have any sensations in your body, or did you have any sensations or areas of the body that got your attention? And then just listen to what they have to say. It's a good way to start the conversation. Um, but again, um, I don't know. We have to let our client off the hook also, which can be hard because we're really curious. I know. Um, let's see. Next question. All righty. Oops. Do you always use symbols during Reiki? Well, if you're Reiki level 1, you don't, right? No symbols in level 1. Um, I always end up bringing through all the symbols that I've been attuned to at the beginning of a session. So I think different practitioners do it different ways. And I don't think there's a right or a wrong. It's however the practitioner really chooses to work. Yeah. Maria says she has her Reiki symbols tattooed on her arm. So yeah, that's great. Different ways of doing things for different people. I think that's amazing. If you have had level 2, want to proceed with Holy Fire. Let's see, what's this one? If you have level 2 in Usui and want to proceed with Holy Fire, well, even you could even take the Holy Fire Master class if you're level 2 Usui, because the Holy Fire is Usui / Holy Fire. They're together. So you can be a level 2 Usui practitioner and then take the Holy Fire Masterclass, or you could repeat and just do the 1 and 2 Holy Fire and then the Master. The one thing that I do in my practice, though, in my teaching practice, is wait 6 months after your Reiki 2 to the Master. And that is to allow time for you to experiment with the techniques that you've learned thus far in your Reiki training, and to build a relationship with the energy, just gaining experience. And so when you are called from within to do the master class, you've got some experience under your belt. You've got some confidence in the techniques and that sort of thing. So yeah, wait 6 months, and you could come take my Holy Fire Master class if you want. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Susie's asking Maria a question. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. I'm over the 3:30. I'm gonna take one more question. And then we're gonna call it a day. Let's see. Oh, maybe I don't have any. Let's see. Janet is asking, are you aware of spirit guides helping you when you are giving Reiki to a client? I used to be a lot more. And now, oh, this is a complicated question. I used to be more. I used to see the guides for my client. I used to see more, sometimes deceased loved ones would come into the session, things like that. And then a few years ago, something interesting happened, and I began to, this is going to sound weird, but I began to just step back and just trust all of that so that I didn't need to get in the way, and not in the way, because I don't want to say that. Maybe it was myself. I didn't need to know that anymore. I just trusted that whatever was happening for the client was happening. The messages I get are the messages I get. I know the vibration of the messages that come in. I don't need to see or be aware in a more direct way of who is present in the session. I think it's just because I have been practicing for so long, and I've let go of my own need to identify all of the little variables. I hope that makes sense to you. Yeah. All right. So I said I was only going to do one more question, but I don't know. I'm going to skip all the way to the end because let's see. Uh, okay. I'm going to come way down to the end. All right. Jay, going to a Reiki share tonight. Any advice when working on someone when another practitioner is working on the person with you? Oh, no. You know what? I'm going to share a little story on this and then I'm going to sign off. I was in an event recently and I was in a group with two other practitioners and it was a share situation. And uh, two of myself and another woman were offering to the third person. And we didn't talk about um, anything. We were just sharing the Reiki, we were on Zoom, and then afterwards we shared some feedback. And it was really interesting because the other practitioner in my scenario, um, let's see, the other practitioner in my scenario, she was talking about how she was working up here on the person, and then she reached about her heart area. And even though she felt like, oh, I should really go down to her abdomen and her hips and her back because the woman had mentioned those areas. So of course, being a mindful practitioner, it's like, oh, I want to go help her where she said she's having troubles. But what happened was she just kept she kept trying to go down below the heart to those areas, and she just felt like, no, guess not. You know how it is as a Reiki practitioner. You might want to go somewhere and you just kind of feel like, "Yeah, guess not." It just doesn't feel right, and that's how she described it, and it was so hilarious. I just busted out laughing, and you know what she says, "I don't know why I couldn't do that." I said, "'Cause I was there." Because from my perspective, doing the session on the woman, I was down there. I was at her abdomen. I was at her hips. I had the lower area covered. Now, the other practitioner had no idea, but how it presented itself was she just wasn't called. She wasn't needed down there because I was there. So when we shared our feedback, it was like, of course. So don't worry about it. Just follow your guidance in the share and concentrate on wherever it is that you're drawn. You can always do Biosen scanning too, and that might help you know better how to treat the person that you're working with. But shares are great. I'm glad that you're going to attend and gain more experience, right? And perhaps meet really wonderful people. Because if it's one thing I know for sure, Reiki people, whether you're a practitioner or a receiver, a client, whatever it is, Reiki people are wonderful, wonderful people. And this channel is proof of that. And again, I want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed. So many of you say that you share the channel with your family and friends. I so appreciate that. It's I never knew where the channel was going to go. I never did, and um, I just kind of put one foot in front of the other and did the next thing that I thought would be an okay idea, and I kind of crossed my fingers. And I guess I want to leave you with that. You don't have to know the full picture. You don't have to know where it's all going to go. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't even have to know really what you're doing because you can always find out the information you need to find out in order to do the next thing. If you're willing to invest some time, some attention, some energy toward your goal, and you are willing to keep doing that over and over, you're going to end up in some really wonderful places. I would invite you to follow your guidance. I would invite you to listen. Again, that inner guidance, It's coming from a really connected place. Follow that, listen, and no matter what happens, um, you do that, you're gonna be surprised where you can end up because I sure am. I sure am. And I'm just again, I just go on and get a sleeping bag and stay here with you, all day. But I thank you so much for tuning in. I thank you so much for subscribing. To those of you who have donated through the Ko-fi page, thank you. Um, I I just want to keep the channel enjoyable. I want to keep making videos for you and building a community where we can come together and do this. I enjoyed the Q&A. I really enjoyed being with you, sharing Reiki with you today, and all my nerdy numbers that I said at the beginning. I I hope that you know peace today. I hope that you know love today. And I hope that you know joy today. And all of those things I wish for you all days. Thank you so much. And I'm going to wear this shirt again at the next milestone, whenever that is. I don't even know. I haven't even thought that far in the future at all. But 50,000, that's pretty incredible. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And remember, you are the light, you are the love, you are the joy, and we are one. Thank you. All right. I'm going to sign off. Bye, everyone. Thank you.